Failure at some point in your life is inevitable, but giving up is unforgivable. Fighting corruption is not just good governance. It's self-defense. It's patriotism. Folks, I can tell you I've known 8 presidents, 3 of them intimately. If you need more than 10 rounds to hunt, and some argue they hunt with that many rounds, you shouldn't be hunting. If you can't get the deer in 3 shots, you shouldn't be hunting. You are an embarrassment. The greatest gift is the ability to forget the bad things and focus on the good. My dad always said, "Champ, the measure of a man is not how often he is knocked down, but how quickly he gets up." In the good old days when I was a senator, I was my own man. No fundamental social change occurs merely because government acts. It's because civil society, the conscience of a country, begins to rise up and demand change. Corruption is a cancer that eats away at a citizen's faith in democracy, diminishes the instinct for innovation and creativity, already tight national budgets, crowding out important national investments. It wastes the talent of entire generations. It scares away investments and jobs. If I don't run for president, we'll all be okay. Our future cannot depend on the government alone. The ultimate solutions lie in the attitudes and the actions of the American people. My father used to have an expression. He'd say, "Joey, a job is about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about respect. It's about your place in your community." Life is a matter of really tough choices. I know I'm not supposed to like muscle cars, but I like muscle cars. In Delaware, the largest growth in population is Indian Americans moving from India. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking. When my first semester grades came out, my mom and dad told me I wouldn't be playing football. We didn't crumble after September 11th. We didn't falter after the Boston Marathon. But we're America. Americans will never, ever stand down. We endure. We overcome. We own the finish line. America doesn't have health insurance. I was kind of secretly hoping one of my kids would go out and make $1 million. So when they put me in a home, at least I'll have a window with a view. For any young democracy, the most difficult but important step is burying the legacy of tyranny and establishing an economy and a government and institutions that abide by the rule of law. Every country faces challenges to the rule of law, including my own. I used to stutter really badly. Everybody thinks it's funny. And it's not funny. It's not. Reality has a way of intruding. Reality eventually intrudes on everything. No one ever doubts that I mean what I say. The problem is I sometimes say all that I mean. For too long in this society, we have celebrated unrestrained individualism over common community. Corruption is just another form of tyranny. I have no doubt that Russia will and should remain a major source of energy supplies for Europe and the world. Given a fair shot, given a fair chance, Americans have never, ever, ever, ever let their country down. Never. Never. Ordinary people like us, who do extraordinary things. My dad used to have an expression, "It is the lucky person who gets up in the morning, puts both feet on the floor, knows what they are about to do, and thinks it still matters." Unions did in fact build the middle class. And here's what that did. That built the United States of America as we know it. We are America, second to none, and we own the finish line. Don't forget it. Look, freedom is an overwhelming American notion. The idea that we want to see the world, the peoples of the world free is something that all of us subscribe to. As a matter of fact, I didn't make a political speech outside of my state for 20 years. Let me tell you what I literally told every world leader I've met with, and I've met them all: it's never been a good bet to bet against America. We have the finest fighting force in the world. The devastating punch we took on September 11th still reverberates throughout American society. When we wrote the Constitution, the intention was to give the commander-in-chief the authority how to use the forces when you authorize him to be able to use the forces. I've been waiting over 40 years to come to Cyprus, and it has not disappointed, the birthplace of Aphrodite, the crossroads of civilization, and, I might add, a genuine strategic partner to the United States of America. Barack Obama is probably the most exciting candidate that either the Democratic or Republican Party has produced, at least since I've been around. He's fresh, he's new, he's insightful. I exaggerate when I'm angry, but I've never gone around telling people things that aren't true about me. I have a really close relationship with Mike Bloomberg. Most Americans think there's already universal background checks. They don't understand why there wouldn't be a background check to purchase a weapon. It's presumptuous to say you know how somebody feels. Well, I thought the deal was, when you went to work for the government you weren't supposed to make money. Al-Qaeda is almost all in Pakistan, and Pakistan has nuclear weapons. And yet for every dollar we're spending in Pakistan, we're spending $30 in Afghanistan. Does that make strategic sense? Foreign policy is like human relations, only people know less about each other. One of the things I've never been accused of is not caring about people. The 21st century is going to be the American century. Because we lead not only by the example of our power, but by the power of our example. That is the history of the journey of America. In my heart, I'm confident I could make a good president. The Chinese have figured out that they have a giant environmental problem. Folks in Beijing, some days, literally can't breathe. Over 1 million Chinese die prematurely every year because of air pollution. Let's just be smart this time. I'm looking for smart. Which quotation do you like the most? Don't forget to subscribe.